Good afternoon, Haley. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Wonderful. Okay, so good afternoon and welcome everyone to the Naval Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division NAWCAD information session. My name is Wanda Critchie and I am the team lead for the recruitment office. We'll go ahead and get started with just a couple of points, administrative information to begin with. So Haley, if we could go ahead to the next slide. Okay, great. So we ask that you please mute your microphone unless you're, unless you're speaking. Haley's already put a notice up in the chat. People are welcome to submit questions through the chat, or you can use your microphone. Quick cap about the event itself. You will see on the slide there is the tiny URL to submit your resume and your transcript. If you and the deadline for resume submission is the 24th of August. We are planning at this time to have an in-person event. However, that is subject to change due to the uptick in the COVID cases. So more to come, more details to come on that. Either way, whether it's in person or virtually, it is scheduled for the 31st of August from 8 until 12 p.m. We're going to go ahead and give you a little insight on what we do here at NAWCAD with a video. Over to you.
With 4 locations, we support the fleet and the entire Department of Defense.
We are more than 10,000 engineers, testers, scientists, and other professionals.
We're the busiest flight test center in the world with facilities you can't find anywhere else.
We research and develop manned and unmanned systems at more than 400 labs.
We test like we fight, with ranges and test facilities that support every step of test and evaluation.
We provide training tools for sailors and Marines at every stage of their career.
We challenge our employees to be innovative and creative.
We bring faster solutions to manufacturing, prototyping, and engineering challenges.
We partner with industry and higher education to create new technologies.
We are NAWCAD, where work gets done.
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 Great, thank you so much, Haley. Key, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce the panel members.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Thanks everybody for being here this afternoon. We're hoping to be an informative session for you. Anything that you need, just bring up the questions and we're pleased to answer. I'm Key Abel. I'm the director of the Strategic Education Office for NAWCAD. And today we're fortunate to have a nice panel of people to answer any of your questions. We have from the Air Systems Group, we have Jessica Holmberg, And from the data group, we have Jim Ashley. And from Webster Outlying Field, we have Izzy Jordan and Mark Riccadello. And Jason's not able to be with us today, but we do have Wanda with us from Human Capital Management. So that's a great thing. So that's our panel, and we'll open up, I guess, for discussions at this point.
Hello, I just wanted to comment that the chat box is disabled, so I can't provide any questions in the chat box.
Okay, let's see what we can do.
Did that help?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Haley.
I have a question to get us started. Can anyone tell us about the internship opportunities that are available with NAWCAD?
Give me a second, and I'm pulling it up. Yeah, so we can start off with the pipeline chart. Thanks, Haley. So at NAWCAD, we use what we call our hiring pipeline. It consists of the 4 blocks that are on the chart that you can see in front of you. There's the CAP, the Science and Engineering Apprenticeship Program. There's the NRIP, the Naval Research Enterprise Internship Program, and then there's the STEM Student Employment Program, and the SMART Scholarship, the Science, Math, and Research for Transformation Scholarship. So we use this as kind of a pipeline for internships. The CAP is for high school students and into your first year of college. NRIP is into college.
Haley, can you hear me?
I can. I think it might be Mr. Abel's end because I haven't changed any audio settings.
Yeah, I may have lost him in the process. I don't see him up anymore.
Wanda, do you want to finish talking about what he did, or would you like me to take it?
Sure. I'm trying to see. Yeah, if you don't mind taking the, where did we leave off here? I apologize for the technical difficulties. Always seems to be a little bit of a challenge here. So Haley, you can talk about the, CIP and NREP. I can certainly talk about, we have the student, excuse me, STEM, Student Employment Program. That is, shown in, you can see that in the 3rd column over. That is one of our large, actually, student programs, very large program that we have at NAWCAD, and provides students a great opportunity to come in and have that professional growth opportunity while still in school. And then typically what happens is upon graduation, certainly it's not a guarantee, but what typically happens is then the student will then, convert into our engineer and scientist developmental program. So it's a great opportunity. And, we mentioned that the internship pipeline, we do have these programs in place because, we have the command demands, if you will, to continue our STEM developmental pipeline. So, Haley, did you want to touch on the SMART program?
I can do that. I think Mr. Abel left off where the NRIPs were, which are for rising college sophomores and juniors. NRIPs have, and CAPs, there's all the admission dates here for applications, for review, and for selection announcements. And we can share this at the end as well. And this is where we have a lot of our internships for high school students, college students. They really get their foot in the door with these internships. A lot of our college students also do this with our Southern Maryland Engineering Program, which is where students begin at College of Southern Maryland in the engineering fields and transfer to the University of Maryland as well. They take classes in Southern Maryland, and a lot of them do a lot of their internships through CAP and NREP as well. The SMART program is typically for targeted degrees and graduate students because it's very, very selective. However, if you do become a SMART scholar, you get a paid stipend of around $25,000 to $38,000. So you pretty much get your degree paid for, but that is why it's also very, very selected. There's a limited number of allocations for that. Did anybody have any other questions about the internship pipeline?
I have a question. I know I looked into, I believe it was a SMART scholarship at one point in time, and it was saying that the placement after graduation was not guaranteed and that you'd have to be able to relocate. Is that the true with the other programs as well?
I can take that. This is Israel Jordan. So for all of our internship programs, we look to place our engineers and employees that apply for those programs. But as always, this is based on technical performance. So what you get on board and you're performing well, and you perform well, we look to bring everybody on board. But if you're not meeting technical performance, we do our best in trying to help you map to another type of duty or task to see your performance arise. And if it gets better, then we'll look to convert you. But if it doesn't, then we'll have to look to not bring you back per that program. So per the SMART program or per any of our internship programs, we're always looking to convert those engineers into full-time employment into our flagship ESDP program, which is the Engineering Scientist Development Program. Over.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We did just have a question asking to describe the ESDPs.
Hey, this is Mark Jardella. I'm actually currently in ESDP. So I would say that's the Engineering Science Development Program. So basically it's a program for engineers, scientists, fitting roles like that. So for example, I'm an aerospace engineer, graduated from Penn State in 2018 and entered that program. So basically it's a kind of a pathway for those employees to gain not only technical, but also personal development goals. So there's things like trainings on personal development and things of that nature to kind of help you grow as an employee. and kind of work out into more, I guess, larger roles. So you're basically just progressing along this path with scheduled pay increases and things like that to kind of grow as an employee.
We have another question in the chat that says, can you explain the process of how to get into the partnership with NAWCAD and UMD? Like, do I have to apply somewhere different to get into the mechanical engineering pathway? Janelle, do you want to take that one?
Sure. If you are a College of Southern Maryland student, in your students, in your My Learning, it says connect to student support. And there's an interest form that you can fill out. It'll Southern Maryland Engineering Partnership interest form. You'll fill out that form. If not, you can contact an academic advisor. They can send it to you. And that information will get sent to me. And then that's how we'll communicate with you through your information there. So does that answer your question? I'll take that as a yes. Thank you.
Do any of our panelists want to share some of the work that they're doing? Maybe some of the exciting things that we have going on?
Yeah, Haley, I'll jump in. This is Jessica Holmberg. I'm with the Air Mechanics Division in the Air Systems Group. And just wanted to talk a little bit. If we're focused on internships here, I will say we had a number of interns come in at different levels this past summer in our group. We're very successful in getting them some unique opportunities. In fact, we had a group of about 4 interns that worked with some of our engineers in what we call our Magic Lab, which is really a flight controls design research lab space. So one of the projects we had them working was taking small UAS aircraft and working on sensors so that they can autonomously bring an aircraft onto a moving deck platform. And in order to simulate that, we have a drone cage in our building here in 2187. It's fairly small, but we can do a small quadcopter in there and a small ground control vehicle. And we have some engineers maneuvering the ground vehicle and the moving platform component on top of that. And then the other engineers that have designed adaptive control laws, flight control laws that enable the aircraft to learn on the fly, the UAV to learn and be able to track certain sensors on both on the moving platform and bring it down into to a landing on that system. And so there's opportunities for that kind of project for internships. We have other interns that are doing work in our small wind tunnel we have in the facility here too, where we do some initial testing and development of configurations that we use for computational fluid dynamics work later on. We have high school interns all the way up through smart student PhD students. So we have a lot of interesting opportunities in flight controls, as well as flight dynamics, simulation work, and like I said, small UAS and control theory type things as well. So those are some of the things going on in the air mechanics area.
This is Jim Ashley. I can comment also. I work out at the Atlantic Test Range within the data group, and we are responsible for conducting the open air flight test. So you saw a lot of the really neat shots in the video earlier. That's a lot what we're involved in. I can comment some on the type of work that we have our ESDP students doing, in particular one mechanical engineer, for instance. He's actually active in designing structures, brackets, etc., for some of the radar emitter type structures that we have here, and he's just doing a great job. One other thing I'll add in the ESDP program is there is also opportunity to rotate between different organizations on base and even in some cases off base. We have We have not just opportunities here at the test range itself, but to some of the test chambers or some of the other labs that you've heard about already. So the objective of that is to give you a wide experience, wide lay as far as what are some of the opportunities available to you, and then have a better understanding of everything that Pax River does and how we can best serve the warfighter as well. So it's exciting work that we do here. Certainly, would like to comment more if there's more questions. Thank you.
We have another question. We actually have two. Where do each of the majority of internships take place? Are there virtual internships?
So I'll jump in first and say that it really will be dependent on your group. I know that there have been some virtual internships, but a lot of our internships, we really try to bring the students, the employees to the base and working at Pax River on systems and understanding things, because I feel that the most value comes in working with other people, working with more experienced engineers and being on site. So majority of ours in the air systems group were on site.
All right, and our other question was just out of curiosity, do the internships have a set minimum or maximum amount of hours students work, or does work time vary between student to student?
So this is Israel Jordan from Wolf. So I would say basically most of our interns, they follow what we call the compressed work schedule once they're on board. It's a 44-hour work week. So the first week you work 36 hours and you get that Friday off. And then the second week you work 40 hours. And that's how you're able to get the total of the 44 hours allotment that you need to have the every other Friday off. We do offer the opportunity for interns to actually work part-time throughout the semester, and that's case dependent upon where you're actually working at. And then basically from there, the requirement there is you must be able to work, I believe, 18 hours per week for the minimum requirement for part-time status.
Great. Our next question is, what's the best way to network with a specific department where my engineering degree would fit?
So I'll say from Air Systems Group, and most of these, right, you're gonna, we have connections in with the recruitment departments, but we also, each group should have what we call Z codes, which are developing engineer and leadership as far as bringing in interns and new hires and developing them. So not sure, Haley, if we have a good list that we can put out of POCs for that kind of thing. But I think the feed in is often with the recruitment office on your side. Correct me if I'm wrong.
NREP, okay.
Our next question is, how selective is NREP? I know SMART program is pretty selective. I just wanted to know how competitive it was.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Now we can.
Oh, okay. Sorry about losing you guys earlier. My internet's dropped out. I've got red lights everywhere, so that's not a good sign. But the NRIP selection process, they send us all of the candidates. When you apply for NRIP, you'll be asked to put down a location that you prefer to work. And if you put down Pax River, they'll send us all of those applications that, the candidates that have applied to NRIP and selected Pax River. So we'll get all of them. And then what I would recommend that anybody who applies to NRIP, that they contact somebody in our SEO. That could be Haley, it could be me, it could be Amber Geis, who runs our NRIP program.
and just get your name in there with them so that they're aware that you're looking for an opportunity, and that we can share that with the hiring managers when we pass them out to see, start the selection process. Does that answer your question?
They said yes, thank you.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Do we have any other questions?
Yes, I have a question. My name is Jason Tucker. I already have a mechanical engineering degree and a minor in aerospace. And I have some engineering experience working for one of our naval shipyards. So basically, for me, it would be switching from Naval Sea Systems Command to Nav Air. I want to know if, I know we've talked about internships, but do you have any other recommendations? Right now, I've been looking at the NAWCAD site for what jobs have been posted, and I've submitted my resume and transcript just to the submit your resume link on that NAWCAD site. Do you know if there could be opportunity for someone who has, mechanical engineering experience? It's more for the shipyard side, dealing with subs and aircraft carriers, that could be, eligible for a position with NAWCAD?
So I'll take that one. This is Israel Jordan from NAWCAD Wolf. So that's a great question. So usually a lot of potential employees and candidates always think you hear Nav Air, so you think it's basically dealing with aircraft systems. But we do have an outfit, which is another echelon 4 command, which is Webster Outlying Field, where we actually do integration of communication systems on ship platforms. So we work heavily with NAVC, integrating C5I SR type systems on aircraft carriers, Aegis systems, amphibs. We do a lot of sensor integration as far as radar development as well on those particular platforms. So we actually do work on ship platforms with our sister command, NAVC. So when we do actually have mechanical engineers that go on site to the actual platforms, which we call O6, on-site installation coordinators, and basically they do a lot of development and making sure that the systems are installed properly. They get a lot of leadership and command experience as well with that particular taskings as O6. So we actually do support ship work as well from a Nav Air perspective.
Yeah, and to add on to what Israel said, if you are looking in the Pax River area, that Wolf is perfect. The Lakehurst group up in Knock Lakehurst, that group does a lot of ship suitability or ship equipment as well, as far as carrier launch and recovery equipment. So there's opportunities up at Lakehurst as well.
And thank you
a lot
both
of
for answering that
applications across NAWCAD. There's ship to area integration. There's the sail lab that they have where they, you have to worry about comm systems, radar systems on the plane interfering with, or vice versa, the ship interfering with aircraft. So you have to, find out how those two work together. So there are applications that apply across, just like Jessica said, Lakehurst has the launch and recovery systems for all the carriers. And as Izzy was saying, the comm systems, Aegis training systems. So there are a lot of applications. In fact, I worked for NAVC 04DS prior to coming back to Pax River. So there's a crossover.
We also have another question. Should the compositions of resumes be compact or detailed, or does the length of the resume not matter as much in comparison to the content provided?
You want to take that?
Wanda,
I can jump in.
There you go.
As Wanda on, I was gonna say I can jump in as a hiring manager as well. That honestly, we're always looking for content over quantity, but in general, you need to make sure you're clear on the kind of experience you have, your schooling, as well as any work experience, and just be able to explain that. and then in a fairly clear way. I don't think it has to be a novel, but just make sure you kind of emphasize the key things that you've done, the leadership and the individual things that you've done that really highlight the kind of work that you'd want to do here at Pax River or in one of the other organizations.
Great. So we're at the 35-minute mark. Does anyone have any other questions?
Haley, is there contact information?
Did we lose Haley?
Nope, I'm here. Is Wanda on, or did Wanda lose connection?
I'm sorry. Yes, I am here, Haley, but I did not. It sounded like I lost Key, or he dropped off. What can I help with? I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think that if there aren't any more questions, that we can wrap up for today. So I was going to hand it over to you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Yes. Do we, I'm trying to monitor the chat here. Are there any final questions for our panel members? And again, you're welcome to speak up. Okay, great. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining this afternoon, excuse me, as well as our panel members and, who are some recruiters and our hiring managers. It's always great to have that firsthand experience and knowledge to share with everyone. So I thank everyone for participating today. And you have the link. I encourage you to submit your resume. And I hope that you have a great day. So thanks to all.